Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Hi, HyperXO7. How are you? It's a little late to capture it. Yeah, it's kind of late. I've been capturing it already for a couple hours. Oh, good. Thanks, Johnny. Johnny Bravo has joined the chat. I'm trying to get my web camera to work, but it's not working for me. So for some reason, I don't know why. So glad the audio is doing well. Let's see. So what I've got up here, I'm just doing a little bit of a stream. I'm actually doing a couple of things. So this screen here that my mouse is over is my Galaxy S phone. So I've got it attached to my telescope, and um, I've got this app for it called ProShot, which allows me to take raw photos. Because the Galaxy S24 that I have doesn't let me use raw photos for some reason. I don't know why. They're saved as raw photos, but they're not actually raw photos. It's weird. So I'm testing it out to see what I can get out of it. So it's taking pictures every 4 seconds, and then it waits 4 seconds. It takes another picture. So it's like a time lapse. Thing is, I have to wait 4 seconds because that's what the app tells me to do. I don't know if I have to wait 4 second intervals or not, but it kind of halves the imaging time, which is kind of weird. So, and then I've got the Horsehead on my 80 millimeter refractor here. And this will be part 2 of the does exposure length, do longer exposure lengths matter? So I'm testing 150-second exposures, 300-second exposures, and 600-second exposures. You can see that here, and it's alternating between them. And then eventually I'll do some statistics on it. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I've actually been actually doing this for quite a few nights. This is probably, I don't know, my 5th or 6th night imaging it, I would expect, maybe even longer. So it should be like, I should have the most data yet. And then eventually I want to do this with like an f10 scope. So I've got a C8 that I might hook my camera up to and try the same thing. I'm not sure it'll work because the focal length is so long. If it doesn't work, I might have to try it with my Ritchie creation, which I kind of don't want to do, but we'll see. So I will. Been a while since I've seen someone driving Ecos K-Stars from a Raspberry Pi. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I can actually run it from my phone through VNC, so I can have my phone out there. And as I'm doing my polar alignment, I can check the polar alignment with it. And it's, it's a Raspberry Pi. It's not my computer out there, so I'm not worried about it as much. But I do like K-Stars. I know a lot of people are gravitating towards Nina. I feel like the Raspberry Pi is a good choice again. A couple years ago when I started the channel, very hard to find Raspberry Pis at reasonable prices, and now you can. So, and I've been using Ecos and K-Stars since probably about 2019. I used to use what is it, astrophotography tool, and that was okay, but I didn't like having my laptop out there all night. So we're getting ready for Galaxy season, I think. So I need to get my C8 set up. Get some galaxies. Trade some SNR for some resolution. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see what's going on. I'm really interested in this phone, what the phone can take. So this is taking raw images. And I've looked at the raw images, and on the screen on the S24, I think it just shows a JPEG. It doesn't actually show the actual raw images. And so when I download it to my computer, it's a little bit better. I don't want to do anything, don't want to touch it now, but I'm also testing it on testing sort of the same concept on an older a Galaxy S10e. So it's like an older phone. It's been a while since I've updated my phone. So I update my phone every like 5 years because I don't like changing phones that often. And I usually get the older model anyway. So I just got S24 a couple months ago. I know the S25 is coming out, but I'm going to hopefully do a comparison between the S10 and the S24, shooting both at RAW with this app ProShot, which isn't free, but it's like $8. But it actually works. You can get raw images from it. I mean, with the S23, I think maybe the S22 and sort of the older models, you could get raw photos natively, but for whatever reason, Galaxy is like making it like a super JPEG, which I guess has a lot of data. It can store almost the same amount of data as a raw format, but things like Serial and Deep Sky Stacker and all these other programs, they can't read it. They think it's a raw image, and then I don't know. It just doesn't, it gives you an error and it won't stack anything. So it's kind of like the first time I've actually, kind of the first time I've tried doing astrophotography with a phone. I don't think I've ever really seriously done it before. And like the S24 has like this astrophotography mode, and I could never get it to work very well. And it feels like there's a lot of AI running in the background. It'll take like it'll stack the images for you, but then what comes out is really too clean for what I think you should be getting. And plus, sometimes when I do that, the stars don't align correctly, and it like aligns based on the foreground, so it's kind of weird. So let me start a poll. Let's see. I kind of want to know, have you ever used a smartphone? Have you ever used a smartphone for astrophotography? That'll be the poll, and we'll see what people say. So let me go ahead and I'll run through this a second. Again, this is my S24. I've got it connected to my Windows PC with like, what is it called? Phone Link. So it's just connected through the Wi-Fi, and I can control the screen with my mouse. I'll move this out for a second. And then if anybody is just coming in, we're also running some experiments tonight where we're going to look at 150-second exposures versus 300-second exposures versus 600-second exposures. Again, this is a longer experiment. I've taken multiple nights, and I've imaged these in multiple nights. But tonight's not the best night, but I thought I'd try and get some data anyway. I'm gonna, cull the data as I need to, so to get rid of any images that are bad. Hey, Luca, is that how you say your name? Is it Luca? Phone by itself or phone looking through scope via adapter? Just phone by itself. So I want to try it both ways. I want to try it just with a phone. So I've got a 3D printed sort of like this GoPro mount for the phone. So I can it holds the phone in a GoPro adapter, and then I've got that attached to the telescope, and it's just the phone pointing up at Orion right now, and it's going to be a pretty wide field shot. I also want to maybe do something different when I start getting my C8 ready for galaxy season. I'm going to try and put an adapter on that through an eyepiece and see what we can do through an eyepiece. If I can manage it. So it should be a good experiment. And again, I'm trying, the S10e, which is an older phone, and the S24. Let's see. We've got 75% so far have said yes, they have, and 25% have said no. So I guess maybe, like when I was first, I don't think I ever used a phone. I never really had a good enough phone to do it, to do astrophotography with it. And so like the S10e and the S24 probably, I guess I had the S10e for a while, but I just never thought about using it like that. So, okay, back to business. So again, what I'm doing is I'm rotating through 150-second exposures, you can see here. So I'll do 4 150-second exposures, and then 2 300-second exposures, and then 1 600-second exposures. And then I reverse the order, and then it repeats. So we can take a look at them. I don't know what it's going to turn out like. So the Horsehead might be a little bit too bright for this experiment. Because, what I'm trying to show, right, is based on my last videos. So I had one, I guess this is like technically part 3 of the series. So I had the first video where I was looking at 15-second exposures versus like, was it like 5-minute exposures, 2-minute exposures? And of course, the longer exposures did better because the 15-second exposures weren't getting across the read noise. And then I did another one a couple of videos ago, right? We're looking at 300-second exposures versus 600-second exposures on broadband targets. So it was, and there, it didn't seem like it made a difference. Like once you stack the photos, as long as using 32-bit stacked images, then you get the same amount of information. But with narrowband, that's the big question, right? Because narrowband, you're blocking a lot of the light pollution. And so if you're blocking, let's say 90% of the light pollution, then the read noise might be the biggest contributor to the noise in the fainter parts of the image. And so going longer might actually make more sense. So Johnny Bravo says, so I voted yes. Let me put in a caveat. It was taking shots of the constellations Orion and lousy handheld shots of the moon. Also tried doing some of the Milky Way core. I've never tried DSO. Yeah, I haven't tried DSO either. This is, and tonight is not a DSO for me either, but yeah, I've never really seriously tried to get like a good image with my phone. And I think this is going to be my first attempt. So I'm pretty sure it's not going to turn out very well. But we'll see. I'm just getting like 30 minutes of data with my S10e tonight and about an hour of data with the S24, and we'll see what happens. I'm kind of been really interested in like, has the camera technology gotten better in the last 5 years? So I think the S10e came out 2018, 2019. I'm guessing 2019, if I remember correctly. And so it's been 5 years. It should get better. I'm thinking that it probably hasn't gotten much better. And what has really gotten better is the artificial intelligence in the phone. So like you take a photo of, the sky and it stacks it for you. You know, if you've got your phone on a tripod and it's nice and stable and it stacks it for you, then it uses AI to clean up the image. I've seen some other reviews on it, and to me, that's what it seems like it does. Like you get like a 5-minute exposure, total exposure time with the stack, and it's very clean, very clean. Of course, it's really quite a fast system if you think about it. Like the phone is doing, you know, I don't know what it is, like f1.8 or f2. So maybe you should be getting a lot of signal, but it seems a lot cleaner than it should be. Of course, the people that I've watched were also doing it in very dark skies. But I'm interested in seeing what the raw image looks like, and then also comparing it to sort of the astrophotography mode that it has on it. Because, I mean, that's the thing, that's using all of the AI tools that's in the phone. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This one is a 300-second exposure. We zoom in in the fainter kind of wispy part of the Horsehead here. You can see it pretty well. Let's see. This is also a 300-second exposure. I've got quite a bit of, like, I don't know, higher level clouds tonight. It's kind of, the transparency isn't very good. So I might not be using a lot of these data that I'm taking tonight, but a few nights ago, you know, I had a lot better data. The transparency was better. Things were better. Let's see here. This is a 600-second exposure, and I think, yeah, I don't see much of a difference, to be honest. So maybe a little bit more defined in here. It's a little bit cleaner. I mean, it looks cleaner. Again, I don't know how much of this is like due to clouds. I don't know if you can see this in YouTube. Maybe if we zoom in towards the Horsehead itself, we can see things a little bit better too. Okay, we're zoomed in. That's about as far as it can go. So this is 300 seconds. This is 600 seconds. And obviously the subs, the 600 sub, I think, is a little bit better quality. I'm not sure what you can see on YouTube. There's a little bit more better definition, and it seems like have things frozen. I'm doing this through Wi-Fi, so my Wi-Fi is kind of like probably maxed out right now. So yeah, I can't. Oh, there we go. Yeah, sometimes it's weird. And this is a 150-second sub. That's really grainy to me. So the 150-second sub is kind of grainy. 300-second sub, if it'll respond. Again, the Raspberry Pi is outside. It's kind of far away from my Wi-Fi, but I've had good connection most of the night. So here's the 300-second subs, not quite as grainy. And then the 600-second subs. So I'm thinking, like, for the brighter parts of this, you know, of the nebula, that like there's not going to be much of a difference between any of the subs. I think what we might find, this is just my hypothesis and sort of based on the hope that my filter is good enough to get rid of a lot of the light pollution, that in the fainter areas of the nebula, so when we go out and here to these little wispy spots, like this part here, we might see a little bit more definition with the 600-second subs and the 300-second subs and the 150-second subs. I don't know. It's still up in the air. If my filter is not the best, so it's like I don't even think they make this filter anymore because it's a 12 nanometer bandpass, so it's pretty wide. But I got it as part of a deal on cloudy nights a long time ago, probably back in 2017. 2018 or so. It came with my Starlight Express camera that this came with a filter wheel and LRGB and HA filters, and I've since gotten S2 and O3 filters as well. I might have come with the O3 filters, but the S2 filter is more narrow, so it's like a 6 nanometer bandpass. So it's better. So I might have to redo this whole test with 6 nanometer S2 filter, but we'll see. So 600 seconds. Yeah, sometimes like the preview in ECOS isn't, yeah, it messes up sometimes. But here's a 600 second sub. Yeah, see, it's messed up. 600 second, 300 second. Doesn't seem like there's much difference even in the subframe. But again, like, and here's the 100, let's see. And here's the 150 second sub. So, I mean, the thing is, your eyes sometimes don't necessarily see the differences between subframes because there's just so much noise in an individual subframe, and that you focus on the brighter parts and you kind of ignore the fainter parts. And so it's just kind of human psychology that you do that and you don't notice the differences between the subs as much. But if you like mathematically look at the signal to noise ratio, you can find differences. And then eventually, as you start stacking and stacking more, you'll see some differences in the fainter parts, if there are differences. So thinking about starting to stream a little bit more often, maybe like every Thursday nights or something. Got a lot of projects in my head, and I think a good way to help make sure that the projects are like good to stream some of these ideas. See how PhD 2 is doing. We'll see. My polar alignment should be fairly good. 1.37. So I think most of this is basically like transparency stuff. Because I've had like 0.8, 0.9 arc second guiding, a few nights ago. Okay, I think we got a lot of the votes in. Anybody? I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes on this poll. So have you ever used a smartphone for astrophotography? We've got 60% yes, 40% no. I'm in sort of the no camp. I've never really seriously used it, but tonight I'm testing it out to see what I can do with it. I can bring that up real quick again. So here's, oh no, something went wrong. The camera error. The camera device has encountered a serious error. Okay. We've got a lot of these error messages. I don't know what's happening. I've never had that happen before. Well, might have to stop stop the app and try it again. I can't get rid of this error. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Close the app and then open it up again. Did I run out of space or something? I don't know. And if you're joining me, I'm using like for the phone, I'm using an S24 and a Galaxy S24, and I'm using this app called ProShot. It's like $8, and it allows you to actually have raw images. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was a pretty big spike, huh? Yeah. Could be a cable. It did a meridian flip probably about 30 minutes ago, or maybe right before I started streaming. And we've got like some weird stuff going on in declination too, which is weird. So maybe one of the cables got wrapped. I'm not sure. I'd go check it, but I'm lazy right now. I've kind of got enough data for this that I'm not super worried about it. Okay, so we've got the S24 here. Yeah, here too is a big spike. And this was a huge one. Every now and then I get it. Maybe I have to start tuning my mount again, re-grease it. I did it a year and a half ago, so it's probably about time. Let's see. So we can do like a time lapse. So take a picture every 4 seconds. It'll wait 4 seconds for it to like download, and then take another picture. We'll just keep going. These are, let's see, these are the images that I've taken. I think we can see why there's some spikes. I think this is all clouds. So I think we've got, yeah, I think we've got some bad transparency. So we'll keep going. I don't know, but I don't see it too much in the guide stars. So I don't know, maybe it's, who knows? Could be cable, could be anything. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go ahead and start. So it's on a time lapse. We're going to start it, and then you'll see it's taken one picture. Now it waits 4 seconds. So once it gets to 8, it'll start the second picture. And again, the thing that's really weird about the Galaxy phones is it says has a RAW mode, but it doesn't really have a RAW mode anymore, like the S24. I'm not sure about the S25. Don't have an S25, so I don't know. But yeah, let's see. Okay, let's see how things are going. So we're on a 600-second exposure right now. So that spike may have cost us the exposure. Who knows? We'll see if it's blurry or not. 6 minutes. But I think the sampling is about 2 arc seconds per pixel. So the total RMS is about 1.5 tonight. It's not bad. We should have okay stars. Maybe. Okay. All right, so I'm going to end this poll, and let's start a new poll. You're running a 294 mm bin 2 on an 80 millimeter refractor with a reducer? Yes. Yeah, so it's f6. So it's like 480 millimeters effective focal length with the reducer. So yeah, so it's about like, I think it comes out to 2 arc seconds per pixel. Okay, so I had a question I wanted to ask. So maybe we can ask, have you, or are you planning to make an image? Okay, so I'll start another poll. Are you planning to submit an image for the Real Intelligence Challenge? So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have about 30 hours. Yeah, 30 hours of data for Messier 33. So the Triangulum Galaxy. And I'm trying to get the community to process the images. without using any artificial intelligence tools. So like no neural networks, no nothing. And I just want to see what we can do. I've processed it, and I can try and bring up my image of it. I can show you all. It's not perfect image, but I think there's enough like signal in the image that like you don't need so much AI tools. Like you don't need a lot of denoising. The deconvolution that you can do just with the regular deconvolution tools and serials is pretty good. And so, I mean, it's okay. And let's see here, I'll bring it up. Let's see if I can find it real quick. But I think it's, a good image. So let's see. Well, that was an easy pull since I've already submitted my entry. Okay, good. Good. Yeah, nice. So the first vote. So you can process it however you want to, like PixInsight, Serial, Photoshop, GIMP, just as long as you're not using any neural network tools, anything that uses like artificial intelligence. So I know that Photoshop has some artificial intelligence denoising tools, and they also have non-denoising tools. So just try and do your best to not use any artificial intelligence. There's no 100% way that I can know whether you have used artificial intelligence or not. So it's kind of up to you. But like, as I said in the video, I kind of reserve the right to ask you how you processed it and to make sure that everything is okay. And then sometime in mid-February will be the end date, the cutoff date for submission, and then kind of do a video of the submissions and then have the community vote on the ones that they like the best, if that makes sense. So I won't be the final judge. You all will be the final judge. I'll put a poll out, maybe use some sort of Google Forms and put what I deem are the finalists in there and have people rate them. So okay, so let me get that image for you, and I'll bring it up in GIMP. Give me 1 second. And I did a whole processing video on how I did it as well. There was a mistake in it where some of the pixel math that I used. So I did use pixel math, which is fine. Pixel math is an AI. I had put in the wrong formula in the video, and it kind of made the colors kind of weird. You'll notice in the video that the stars are a little bit more red than they should be. It's because the pixel math formula was on. I was using like the red filter for the blue channel. But this is the video, or this is the actual image. But I'm pretty happy with it. I think the colors turned out really nicely. So I do have hydrogen alpha data with it, so you can add it in to get kind of like the little pink nebulae and the spiral arms. The star color was nice. I kind of like a little bit of loaded RGB stars, because it kind of gives a nice color around the stars. I know that maybe is not everybody's jam, but yeah. I do kind of like, for example, I like this star, even though it looks bloated and whatever, but like when you zoom out, it just has a nice yellow color. orangey yellow color. I kind of like it. Heresy, yes. Yeah, it is heresy. I know. I don't like them too bloated, but I do like them a little bit colorful. And a good way to do that is to kind of like blur out the RGB just a bit. It is heresy. I feel like there's the biggest question I've gotten from the Real Intelligence challenge is, like, can I use StarNet? And unfortunately, you can't use StarNet. However, there is a way to remove stars in GIMP and Photoshop. So if you have Gimmick installed, you can, if I just duplicate this layer, for example, and I go to Filters, Gimmick, and then wait for it to load. I type in remove hot pixels. And if I zoom in a bit, make this mask size really large and the threshold really large, then you'll see that like the stars start to disappear in the middle. You can just like click apply and then wait for it to run and then start moving the threshold down a little bit. Click apply again. And like the more you do this, the better it should be in general. I mean, you have to kind of worry about the galaxy a little bit, but you keep moving this threshold down. And in the star, and in Photoshop, I think it's called the dust and scratches filter. You can do the same thing. It's got similar sliders. This may sound dumb, but with shorter exposures, you'll get more dithering. So in the end, I think the 300 plus second subs are needed only if you're imaging faint objects, like I see 2118, for example. Yeah, I think, yeah. More dithering could help remove the noise. That's true. It's a weird, I'm sure like SharpCap, that smart calculator probably can. I wonder if SharpCap has that information. Like if you put in the shorter subs, does it account for dithering? I'm not sure if it does. But I know some people have already kind of put into the SharpCap calculator, and the longer subs in dark skies definitely allows you to resolve fainter detail than, I don't know if resolve is the right word, but you can like bring out fainter detail compared to shorter subs. But you'll get more dithering in the end. Yeah, that's true. And dithering like takes time, but it should reduce some of the dark current noise. I don't know. They're like, and hot pixels and stuff like that. It's an interesting question. That's an interesting question. But I think you're onto something. Okay, so we kind of like keep moving this down, keep clicking apply. And eventually you also kind of want to move this mask size down too. So you get kind of like smaller and smaller like stuff. But yeah, I think that's a good point about the dithering. Dithering works well for dealing with fixed pattern noise, hot pixels, and if you're planning to drizzle. Yeah, yeah, that's good summary. Thank you. That's right. So, but like it, I mean, if you're dithering more, you're not getting as much exposure time overall, like total integration time too. Does that matter? How much less integration time would you be getting? You're dithering after every subframe, and every subframe takes like 30 seconds. You might, over the course of a 20-hour image lose like 30 minutes or an hour? I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting question. So yeah, and you just keep like moving this slider down. I use this a lot with narrowband images before I knew about StarNet++ before that came out. So like 2019, 2018, I wanted to separate my SHO data from the stars. And you could do a pretty good, you could remove the stars fairly well using this method, but is it StarNet++? No, it's not. Not nearly as good. But yeah. Right. Let's see. Depends on how tight your tolerances are and what your settings are for the guiding and recovering from the third. Yeah, that's true. And your mount. Right. Yeah. Like, I'm not sure I would trust my mount for anything other than like, not to mention that with longer subs, the risk of getting multiple satellite strikes on the same sub. Yeah. I've been lucky. I don't think I've had a lot of satellites in the subs I've taken of the Horsehead so far. Maybe it's just in the area of the sky. There's not a lot of satellites that go through it. I don't know. But you could also do some Sigma clipping or something to try and get rid of that. Definitely and your mount. Yes, it's definitely and your mount. Yeah. Okay, let's see. See how well we can get these stars. It's already stretched, so it's already a stretched kind of final image. If I were doing this in real life, I would probably like try it on unstretched data. Either that or only each channel individually, but that would take forever. Or at least just that luminance channel or whatever by itself. Otherwise, we're getting like these crazy weird colors in some of the stars. I'm talking about this remove hot pixels filter, by the way. I'm sorry, I'm changing subjects quite a bit. Yeah, so you can see like the stars are slowly starting to disappear as we move this down. And then you can like, there'll be some stars that doesn't quite get, some stars that it does. And it's definitely a process. I don't know. We've got a GPU and StarNet++. StarNet++ is definitely, I think, the better option. But okay, let's see. Yeah, you can see like as you get rid of more and more stars, stuff in the galaxy starts to go away too. I mean, the simple way to like fix that would just be to put a layer mask on the starless one and then bring back everything in the galaxy. And then, of course, this mask size slider also is important. So I should have been like slowly moving this down as well as I move this threshold slider down, but I think it's fine. I mean, this is just a demonstration. But I had someone bring this up in the comments because I had done that processing tutorial and it said, oh, use the dust and scratches filter in Photoshop, you can remove the stars. And they were totally right. And this filter in Gimmick within GIMP is also similar. So you can see like once you get so small, like it's really hard to remove the stars without removing all of the detail in the galaxy. We'll see how it looks. Okay, yeah, that's way blurry. So, but the stars are pretty much gone. But a lot of the detail too is gone here too. Zoom in a little bit and see. I mean, it's not terrible. Like this stuff here is untouched, but here on the outer edges, it's kind of dirty. Like, I don't know, maybe it's fine. Yeah. So, okay, Johnny, thanks for coming. Yeah. Thank you. Hope you have a good rest of your night or day, whatever side of the world you're on. So let's see. Let's check out this and see if the guiding is any better. Yeah, there's a dither, 1.5 arc seconds. It's kind of hazy out there, so it's not too bad. Okay, I'm going to end this poll. I'll start a new one. I think the poll is, should I stream more regularly? Like every Thursday? Right. We'll see if you guys, hopefully, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's check out our data real quick. So this is a 300-second sub. Oh, looks like we had some guiding errors there. This is a 600-second sub. So the 600-second sub seems like it's a little bit brighter. Let's check out this 600-second sub. This one looks like the stars are similar, which is good when the guiding is good. So this is a 600-second sub. This is a 300-second sub. Yeah, the stars seem fine. So got 1 vote for yes. Well, I need to have like an official 5,000 sub stream. I haven't had that yet. And maybe I'll make that one a Q&A session or something. People can ask me questions about astrophotography or whatever they want. About my journey or something. I don't know. But I'll let people know way beforehand when that's going to be. Probably give like a week's notice. Let's check on the Galaxy. I mean, the phone, the Galaxy. Okay, so it's taken 169 pictures over 22 minutes and has eaten up 6 gigabytes of data, I think. So, which is fine. Yeah, it's hard to see. The preview is not much to see on the Galaxy, but we'll hopefully like eventually maybe make a video on it if it's interesting enough. There's an interesting enough story to tell between the, taking images, wide field images with your cell phone. I think it's definitely possible. I've seen a lot of great pictures, people's cell phones. The problem is, can I get a great picture out of the cell phone? And I'm not exactly sure if I can. Okay, there's another 150-second sub. Yeah, I have to throw that one out. K-Star's preview has been acting up for whatever reason. Maybe it's a thing of resources, but like it looks really grainy, and then suddenly it'll like look not so grainy. So I don't know. We'll see how this turns out. Is anybody imaging anything tonight or today or this week? I feel that, like, I really need to get going on like all of these Orion projects that I want to do while there's still nebulae in the sky. Galaxy season's coming up, so and I'll have to change setups for that. I think I want to do a lot more with my C8 this year. I think last year I was pretty rained out most of the spring, so it was hard to get a lot of data. Just very cloudy a lot of the times. Very windy too. So when you're running at 2000 millimeter focal length, it's not that great to have a lot of wind. I hope I'll be able to get some new data soon. Yes. Yeah. Is it the weather that's holding you back, or is it life? I know sometimes life holds me back from imaging as much as I want to. I've got a lot. I mean, and when I say a lot, I've got a lot of data for M31 that I've been capturing over several nights. So every night I've been imaging the past few months, I've been just doing a little, like 40 minutes of M31. So I feel like I've probably got, I don't know, I want to say at least 20 hours of data for that. So even though it's not like my major project, I've been just doing a little bit at a time. And I want to stack those images separately. So each night I want to stack them separately because I have another project I want to do with M31. It's just a matter of doing it and seeing if I can actually do it. Work shifts and moving to my new home. Oh, yeah. It's a lot of moving is a big deal. It's hard. Every time I move, it's like after I move, I just want to take like a month vacation. Moving is it's a pain. But it can be good if it's so. Is it Um, if it's your new home, then I think that implies that it's a good thing, right? So he didn't say a new house, he said your new home. So congratulations if that is a, you know, if it's not just a regular move and it's like a special move. I'm not sure if it is, but if it is, congratulations. But work definitely gets in the way too. Sometimes when things are busy at work, I'm like, I don't know, don't have the brain power anymore left to like do anything at night. And so I just don't set up, which I think is perfectly fine. I mean, it's a hobby, right? We don't want to burn ourselves out for doing it every night just because we think we have to do it. And I think that can be unhealthy. Yeah, you're welcome. Yep. So I know I feel like different astrophotographers, especially YouTubers, sometimes they also burn out, and they're like, I need to take a break, and they come back. I've seen a couple of YouTubers do that, and some YouTubers eventually they're just like, I'm only going to be doing live streams now. It's just be a lot of work. Sky quality is a winning factor in my opinion. Yes. Yeah. Are you in clear skies now? I mean, maybe not clear skies, but like dark skies. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like when you do a preview, Portal 6 zone. Yeah, that's about where I'm at. So I started my astrophotography journey like in a Portal 9 right next to a highway. You probably heard this story a million times. I've told it in some of my videos. But I started like a Portal 9, and we would go out sort of as a family on trips every month. Not every month, but sometimes every month, sometimes every couple months. We go to kind of a Portal 5 or 6 zone, a park that was a couple hours away. I don't know, it was like maybe an hour away. And it was so much better in the Portal 5, 6 zone. And then we um, probably moved across the country for a few years. And there was like a Portal 7 ish, sometimes 8. During COVID, it was probably like a Portal 6 too. Like things were shut down. And it kind of depended on where I was pointing as well. But it only had small sort of patch of sky to work with each night because there were houses on the east side, and then our house was on the west side. And we didn't have like a huge yard, so it's not like I could just take the telescope and put it out farther in the yard to like point it west. So, but yeah, the 7 was a lot better, so much better than the 9. I mean, it's unbelievable how much, just going a couple portal zones down, things get just drastically better. And now we're in sort of a portal 6-ish area. And it's better than the 7. It's like you can start almost pulling out dark nebulae. It's still really noisy though. I think like really dark stuff, like broadband dark nebulae and stuff like that. So we're focusing. Let's see how well it's focusing. Yeah, that's pretty good. Sometimes it slips. So the focus will slip on my focuser isn't the best. So I kind of have to tighten it down quite a bit. Sometimes it'll slip out. I'm in Portal 5, Western Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Nice, nice. When we were in Portal 7, we were in Maryland, kind of an hour outside of DC. So I like Pennsylvania. It's really pretty. Yeah, we always liked going to, driving through different towns. I think we drove through Lancaster before, on the way to, I don't know, the Poconos or something. Or we kind of would visit Niagara Falls when we were up there. We did that once. But very cool. Portal 5, yeah. I feel like more and more places are. I mean, this is just an objective fact, right? Like light pollution is getting worse. So it'd be really nice if more municipalities took light pollution seriously. Yeah. Yeah, very cool. Says during the warmer months, I drive 4 hours to Cherry Springs State Park. That's one place I do want to go. I'd like to do that. Doesn't have to be during the festival, but just yeah, Portal 2 would be nice. I do really kind of want to go there. And while we were living in Maryland, I kind of wanted to go there. But I just never got the chance, especially when kind of COVID hit, things shut down. So we got one no vote for streaming regularly. That's fine. It's okay. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. That's true. It does make a huge difference. And you think about like broadband imaging and just how much less exposure time you need to get a good image between like a Portal 2 and a Portal 6. It's just crazy. And then you go like to a Portal 9, like each time you're going just getting exponentially like more and more integration time. It's really crazy. Be nice to go to Yellowstone or like Bryce Canyon to do stuff. To image there. Bryce Canyon is so dark and it's so high up, so clear. I don't know if everybody's been there. I was there like 20 years ago. We were there visiting and they had a star party. And I was like, yes, I got to go. And we had a guy with his, 14-inch Dob set up looking at M51 or M82 or M81. And you can see like the spiral arms in the eyepiece. Had other people kind of like another guy had, I think, like an SCT setup, but he had, I think back in the time there was like this, I think they called it like an electronic eyepiece or something like that, where it would try and magnify the light that was coming out and you could actually like look through it. And so he was very it was very cool technology at the time because it took his smaller scope and made it like, the 12-inch scope. It's like it increased the aperture for you. But at the same time, when I looked through it, it's fairly noisy. I don't know like exactly what was going on. So you're done with the Witch Head Nebula in a Bortle 3.2 zone with 180-second subs and only a UV-IR cut filter. Yeah, that's one thing I do. I eventually would like to do the Witch Head, but I feel like a Bortle 6 is just a little bit out of reach for it. But then again, it's a pretty wide field target too, so even the equipment I have might be a bit too zoomed in on it. But yeah, the Witch, that's really cool. How much total integration time did you have? Here's the next subframe. 150 seconds. Let's see. We're still going with the Samsung. At the end of the stream, I'll stop it and we can take a look at one of the raw files based on what the camera is showing us. Again, I think I mentioned this earlier in the stream. The raw file that it shows in the Samsung screen is not very good when I actually downloaded it. It usually looks better. But it's like they make it a thumbnail or something. They don't show the full raw picture. 3 hours, yeah. Yeah, I feel like in a Bortle 6 zone, you would probably need like at least 20 hours to pull out anything, and then the fainter stuff just might not pop out at all. So I can definitely see why so many people are sending their telescopes to Texas to just to take advantage of those dark, clear skies. But at the same time, I don't know if I would. I feel like something would be missing if I did that. It wouldn't be enough work, and so it would be too easy. But I feel like I'm coming down with a little bit of a cold. My son had a cold all this week. Had a temperature today too, and hopefully it's not. I'm not getting it. But let's zoom out real quick and see. So this is 150 seconds. Let's see if we can make this bigger on the screen. Okay. Let's see, and had to find out how to mitigate the endless satellite trails passing there. Yeah. Have you tried SETI Astro script? SETI Astro had like a satellite removal AI tool, I think. And I think you can remove the satellite trails from the individual subframes, which is kind of nice. I think it's nice. But then again, I wonder how accurate it is. So I don't know how accurate. I'm pretty sure it looks pretty good from the demos that he showed on YouTube. It just seems like it does really well. I'm not sure how long it takes to sorry, getting a little bit of a cough. I'm not sure how long it takes to remove it from each of the subframes. I'm sure if you had a lot of subframes, it might take a little bit, but then again, maybe. I think he's got the script kind of optimized so that it figures out where the satellite trails are, and it marks that, and it just processes those parts of the image, and that way it speeds up things. And it also kind of ensures that the it's not like changing the data too drastically, and it's only changing the part of the subframe that has a star trail in it, which is, I think, really smart. It's a smart thing to do. Yep, but a YouTube tutorial worked much better changing some values in PixInsight. Oh yeah, yeah. So you have tried it, but the PixInsight script worked better for you. That's interesting. I feel like a lot of satellite trails can just be mitigated quite a bit, just with sigma clipping. You just say, okay, if the pixel value is so many standard deviations away from the average of the other subframes, then you just kind of like get rid of that value for that pixel. Yes, okay, good. Yeah. I haven't tried the satellite trails. I haven't had, I mean, let's see how many satellite trails I have here. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, let's see. So, in this was a 150-second subframe, another one. Let's see. Some clouds. I image at 1900 millimeters, C9 9.25 with an f6.3 focal reducer, but I have a rotator, an external focuser, so my camera is way back. Yeah, that yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. What kind of mount is on it? Are you using? I'd like to eventually get a larger. I've got the C8. It'd be nice to get a larger telescope. 1900 millimeters at 6.3. That's pretty good. Is it just the select? How is the focal reducer on it? Does it also correct for the aberrations and the stars on the edges? Whatever that is, I forget what like SCTs have. They don't have coma, but they still have field curvature, correct? So like, that'd be pretty cool. A G11 Gemini 2. It's 20. Oh wow, as long as it works. As long as it works. Kyle says, people think it's impossible to image from the city. I live in Philly near the airport. An image from my backyard. The hardest issue is dealing with my one neighbor who insists on bright lights. Yeah. Local light pollution is pretty bad too. Think about like the sky glow. That's bad. Local light pollution is bad too. I feel like narrowband in the city, like whatever we're using, if it's like a one-shot color with a dual narrowband or a mono with SHO or whatever, totally doable. I agree. A lot of the brighter objects, even in Mortal 9, can still be done. So I know I've done like a lot of the messier objects from a Mortal 9. There are some targets that just broadband are just not possible though. But yeah, Optic F 6.3 Lepus reducer. Cool. Very cool. I have to check it out. I need to check that out. I've been wondering if I could get a good reducer for my C8. I have to check out that one and see how it's good is. But like, I'd also eventually maybe like to upgrade to I don't know, to Edge HD, but I don't know if I'll ever do that. If I've got the C8, I'll probably just deal with anything. Look at the aberrations. But yeah, that's pretty cool. C9.25. Do you do a lot of planetary stuff? I feel like the 9.25 would be like perfect for planetary. C8 is pretty good too. Everything just depends on the seeing too. All right, so this is a 150-second exposure. You can see how like the clouds, I've got some sort of, the clouds are in and out tonight. So you can see with this one, it's a lot, like not as much contrast. The clouds are sort of blocking everything. This one is here. So we've got quite a few 150-second ones in a row. 300-second is like this. It's not bad. A 300-second looks like this. So you can see like the differences. I just shot Jupiter and Mars. Yeah, I need to do that. I haven't done any planetary imaging yet this year, which is, I know I've already passed the peak for Jupiter. But I got some good images of Jupiter last year. I need to get some this year. Can you post links on the chat? You might be able to. I'm not sure exactly what my settings are. You can try it. You can try it. If not, I can bring it. You can tell me what it is, and I can try and bring it up. Oops. Keep hitting my microphone. Hopefully it's not too horrible for you guys. Okay, so here's a 600-second sub. Again, Orion, I think, is, going, it's not as high as it was just a couple of hours ago. So so some of these might be looking better just because they're higher in the sky. Let's see. Is it letting you post the links in the chat? If not, let's see. See, it seemed to. Oh, I can't see it, so maybe it did block it. So if you're, I don't know if you have Discord. Are you in my Discord, Tom? If not, let's see. See if I can change the settings here. I don't see a setting at this moment. So I guess it's taking it out. The imaging is always possible, but sky quality makes a huge difference. Yeah, I agree with that. It's harder to get the gradients out. I mean, of course, it's hard to get the gradients out, but like I really struggled for Bortle 9, even with the brighter images, getting the gradients out of the images. And then when I did get the gradients out, it left a lot of noise in the fainter parts. So it made it very hard for the fainter parts of the brighter objects to kind of blend in. Tumblr website. Let's see. Yeah, let's see here. Let me go ahead and see if I can bring it up. Oh, cool. Yeah, I think I found it. Here we go. Oh, very cool. Let me bring it up here. We can take a look at it. Do you mind if I take a look at it here? I've already got it up, so hopefully you don't mind. See, so this is yours. It looks like. Let me just check real quick. Yeah, that's okay. I think that's it. Yeah. All right. So thanks. Thanks. So here, this is, yeah, very cool. Are these all taken with the C8? I mean, it looks like these look like very deep images. So very nice. Oh, the Crab Nebula. This one's good. I like the color that you brought out. Like the first time I tried the Crab Nebula, I tried it with my 80mm refractor with a DSLR. And I was like, oh, I was very new to very new to astrophotography. And I was like, oh, I should go like as long as I can with this object, try and get as much signal as possible. So I went like, I don't know, 5 minutes or something. And it just totally blew out all of the color. I don't know. This is really nice. That's really cool. Oh yeah, nice planetary images. Cool. Jupiter and Mars. Very nice. You can see the ice caps. Nice. It's like, oh, that's it. Oh, this one's good. Oh, that's beautiful. Look how much detail there is there. Did you use WinJobos on this, or did you just have just this exceptional seeing that night for this one? That, I mean, look at that. That's great. I think planets are so cool. So, yep, I have to sign in. Nice. What is your camera? Maybe it says it here. Here we go. 678C color camera. Oh, this for the planetary. For the nice. Very cool. Let's see it here. Yeah. I think like the more you get into like the more years you're in astrophotography, like the more focal length you want to have. I think it's sort of like a, you know how like visual astronomers, they have aperture fever. I feel like eventually with astrophotography, you get kind of like focal length fever, or you just want to go like deeper and deeper into different objects. The wide field is great. You get like really beautiful images with the wide field. But I've noticed that like I've seen comments by like Astro Biscuit and others that say, yeah, like once you get to a certain point, you just want to go as deep as you can. It's just something new. It's challenging. I think that's part of it too, is like it's just the challenge. Oh, this is great. The Deerlick cluster. This is like one of my favorite galaxy clusters of all time. It's just so, I don't know, very cool. Nice spiral galaxy with all its little galaxies around it. I'm not sure if those are satellites. I doubt they're satellites, but I don't know. QHY 268M. Cool. Very, very nice. Yeah. The bubble. Okay, these are great. So very cool. Thank you for sharing. That's great. That's great. I'm probably going to have to head out in a second. I do have to work tomorrow. So let me go ahead and last thing I'll do is I'll stop this and we'll take a look at kind of the thumbnail version of the raw image of this. So we'll see if we've got anything good here. Yeah, it says low res preview. Can't see anything for some reason. Let's see. I was able to see it earlier. Not sure why. Oh, I don't know why. Yeah, it's not letting me. It's still showing up as dark images, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's just raw now. I don't know. First light, Vaskar. Cool. Let's see. Retired. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Still a long way off, I think, for me. So got got to work tomorrow. And let's see. Luca, did you put a link in the chat? I don't see it anywhere. I don't think I can see the links for some reason. I feel like, let me see, maybe if I actually go on to Oral 5.9 zone, sadly, yeah. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can bring up the actual YouTube channel. See if I can see the links, because it's not letting me see links in the chat that I see. And the chat that I see is like the YouTube kind of streaming chat. Starting to get some beeps from PhD2. I can hear that. I think that clouds are rolling in as well. It's getting more cloudy out there. Let's see here if I can find the link. Nope, I can hear myself. Going to vote in my own poll. Okay. Yeah, I can't. If there is a link, I can't see it. So it says this is my first light of the ASCAR SQA 85. Yeah, I can't see the link for some reason. So yeah, it's not showing up. Let's see if I can bring up. Huh. Trying to bring up some of the previews of the raw files that I took, but I don't see anything. I don't know. Maybe it just didn't work. Maybe I messed up. So maybe it's just because it's in raw format. It's very dark. Okay, so here we go. So like this should be raw as well. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Bring up the YouTube chat again. Here we go. I'm going to call it a night myself. My beagle is barking in his sleep. Nice. My dog does that sometimes. So next project is a try mosaic of the Rosetta. Cool. Very cool. Okay, so this is like what one raw file is like. So you can see the trees in the foreground. This is from earlier tonight. I think these are just previews. Yeah. Can't zoom. Unfortunately, I can't zoom in very much. There's a lot of hot pixels in it, you can say, but like you can definitely see Orion's belt, as well as the Orion Nebula here, Betelgeuse. And I think this is just clouds. I don't think that's part of the Orion molecular complex, but I could be wrong. That's kind of what things are going to look like, I'm guessing. I mean, it could be the complex. Like, I don't know. I have to check it out in more detail later on, It doesn't look like any of the, it's got to be clouds. So we'll see. See what things are like. I think the my S10e had similar results. So okay, I think I'm going to call it there. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me. Hopefully this is a little bit interesting. And I'll probably try and do this more regularly. Again, I'll try maybe different days. I'm thinking that Thursday probably will work best for me. So maybe catch me next Thursday. If I don't have something to image, then I will probably process some data. Like I said earlier in the stream, I've got a lot of data from M31 that I have to process separately each night for, because I'm looking for something specific in M31, which you probably already know what it is. You could probably guess. And we'll see if we can find it together. So yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out with me, and thank you for keeping me company while I image the Horsehead Nebula. And I'll see you guys next time.